Right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Echad Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the elect. All right, today we're going to get into 2 Samuel, the 5th chapter. A quick recap of what happened in the previous chapter. You had, let me see real quick. 4th chapter. Oh, yeah. You had Ishbosheth, Saul's son, was murdered, and the two captains of his army were brothers, and they're the ones who murdered Ishbosheth and brought his head to David, trying to get favor in his sight. But as David did with the Amalekite who condemned himself, David put both the brothers to death. That's about it, really. Yeah. So let's get into the 5th chapter. So this is the book of 2 Samuel, chapter 5 and 1, and it reads, Then came all the tribes of Israel to David unto Hebron, and spake, saying, Behold, we are thy bone and thy flesh. Also in time past, when Saul was king over us, thou wast he that leadest out and broughtest in Israel. And the Lord said to thee, Thou shalt feed my people Israel, and thou shalt be a captain over Israel. So all the tribes are coming together to David, and they are basically acknowledging David as their true leader. So all the elders of Israel came to the king to Hebron, and King David made a league with them in Hebron before the Lord, and they anointed David king over Israel. So now David is king of all of Israel. David was 30 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 40 years. In Hebron, he reigned over Judah 7 years and 6 months. And in Jerusalem, he reigned 30 and 3 years over all Israel and Judah. And the king and his men went to Jerusalem unto the Jebusites and the inhabitants of the land, which spake unto David, saying, Expect thou to take away the blind and the lame, except thou take away the blind and the lame, thou shalt not come in hither, thinking David cannot come in hither. Nevertheless, David took the stronghold of Zion, the same as the city of David. So you had the Jebusites over here saying that they were basically making mockery of David, saying David couldn't what am I trying to say? Basically saying the blind and the lame are more than enough to keep him out, and David won't be able to what's that word? Ransack, penetrate. Basically, David won't be able to take hold of the stronghold, but nevertheless, David did. Let me look at the NLT real quick. The Jebusites taunted David, saying, "You'll never get in here. Even the blind and lame could keep you out." For the Jebusites thought they were safe. They thought they were safe. Verse 8, And David said on that day, Whosoever getteth up to the gather and smiteth the Jebusites, and the lame and the blind that are hated of David's soul, he shall be chief and captain. Wherefore they said, The blind and the lame shall not come into the house. All right, let's look into this real quick. On NLT, on the day of the attack, David said to his troops, I hate those lame and blind Jebusites. Whoever attacks them should strike by going into the city through the water tunnel. That is the origin of the saying, the blind and the lame may not enter the house. Oh, okay. Interesting. So basically David is calling the Jebusites blind and lame. And yeah, he doesn't like them at all. And he's telling his troops that they should go through the water tunnels, through the gutter, to kill them. Okay, that's a warlike tactic right there. It's tactic. Interesting. So David dwelt in a fort and called it the city of David. And David built round about from Millo and inward. And David went on and grew great, and the Lord God of hosts was with him. So David dwelt in a stronghold, which he renamed it the city of David. And you know David continues to grow in the Lord because the Lord is with him. And Hiram, king of Tyre, sent messengers to David, and cedar trees, and carpenters, and masons, and they built David an house. And David perceived that the Lord had established him king over Israel, and that he had exalted his kingdom for his people, Israel's sake. So you have King Hiram, which was king of Tyre, and he basically sent David gifts to build David a house. And David recognizes, or he realizes, that the Lord had established him as king for Israel's sake. And David took him more concubines and wives out of Israel after he was come from Hebron, and there were yet sons and daughters born to David. So David had more wives and concubines than he had more children. And these be the names of those that were born unto him in Jerusalem: Shammua, and Shobab, and Nathan, and Solomon, Ibher also, and Elishua, and Nepheg, and Japhia, and Elishama, and Eliada, and Eliphiah, Eliphalet, Eliphalet, uh, Eliada, Eliphalet. These names always get me. Know what we could do though? Hold up. Oh.
Pronounce name.
Eliphalet Remington.
Eliphalet, Eliphalet.
Eliphalet Remington.
Your name.
That. Yeah, I don't like the pronunciation of that. That could be how you pronounce it though. But yeah, moving on. But when the Philistines heard that they had anointed David king over Israel, and all the Philistines came up to seek David, and David heard of it, and went down to the hold. The Philistines also came and spread themselves in the valley of Rephaim, and David inquired of the Lord, saying, Shall I go up to the Philistines? Wilt thou deliver them into mine hand? And the Lord said unto David, Go up, for I will doubtless deliver the Philistines into thine hand. So over here you have the Philistines hearing that David is king over Israel, and they try to come against him. And then, of course, David goes and seeks guidance from the Lord, asking the Lord if he should attack or just chill out. And the Lord said, Go. I will deliver them into your hand. That's it. David's not over here asking questions or anything. The Lord said he got you. Hey, without a second thought, he's moving. And David came to Baal Perazim. David smote them there, and said, The Lord has broken forth upon thy enemies before me, as the breach of waters. Therefore he called the name of that place Baal Perazim. What does Baal Perazim mean? Baal Perazim. Lord of breaks, the sight of a victory of David over the Philistines, and of a great destruction of the images, also called Mount Perazim. Okay. Lord of the breaks. What does Elishama mean? My God has heard. Oh, okay. Now I'm curious to know what the other names mean. Eliada. God knows. A son of David. Okay, so this guy was a son. Okay. And Aramean, the father of enemy of. Okay. This guy, Eliada, is a son, is a boy. So you have. Oh, I said that. A son of David. Elishama. Oh. Oh, okay. So Elishama is a boy's name. Interesting, because my sister's friend's name is Elishma and she's a female. Maybe it could be both. Interesting. Elishma. Alright. Wait, what does it mean? My God has heard. My God knows. And this is God. El Falet. Eli Falet. Means God is deliverance. Okay. What does the others mean? I Ibhar means Jehovah chooses. So Most High chooses. Let's see, Elishua, my God is wealth, or God is salvation, son of David. Oh, these are all sons, by the way. Nepheg means sprout, one of the sons of Izar. No, one of the sons of David born to him in Jerusalem. Oh, these are all sons. Hey, where the daughters at? What about Japhia? Japhia means shining, a son of David by a concubine. Okay, also another son. And there were a couple more. Let's see. Shamua, reowned, a son of David by his wife Bathsheba. Okay, so they had another son, Bathsheba. Had another. David and Bathsheba also have another son. Okay. Shobab means rebellious, a son of David by Bathsheba. Okay, another son. Nathan means giver, and there's also another son by Bathsheba, son of David by Bathsheba. And Solomon, we all know who that's from, Bathsheba. Solomon means peace, you know? Shalama, peace. I actually never knew that. Shalama means peace. Alright, yeah. Damn, where the daughters at though? I mean, I guess the son's names are more important. But yeah. Okay, where was I? Verse 20. Yeah, verse 5 and 20. And it reads, and David came to Baal Perazim, which Baal Perazim means the Lord of the beaks or breaks. Let's look into it again. Lord of the breaks. Yep, there we go. And David smote them there, and said, the Lord hath broken forth upon my enemies, Salak, before me, as the breach of waters. Therefore he called the name of that place Baal Perazim. And there they left their images, and David and his men burned them. So, David, of course, as the Lord said, he defeated the Philistines who came against him. And the Philistines apparently left the idols. So when they leave them, they basically abandoned them. And David and his men just burned them because there's no need for them to be up. They're all false anyway. So it's like, just burn it. Verse 22, and the Philistines came up yet again. These niggas don't learn, bro. And they spread themselves in the valley of Rephaim. These niggas don't learn, bro. So let's see what David decides to do. And when David inquired of the Lord, he said, of course he's going to go to the always he goes to the Lord first. That's who you should be going to, the Lord first and foremost, out of everything and everyone. The Lord is the one you go to first. He will guide thy path, you know? And the Lord said, thou shalt not go up, but fetch a compass behind them, and come upon them over against the mulberry trees. And let it be when thou hearest the sound of it going in the troops of the mulberry trees, that then thou shalt bestir thyself, for then shall the Lord go out before thee to smite the host of the Philistines. So the Lord is basically giving David a war tactic to use against the Philistines. See, the Philistines thought they were smart. They thought they were smart, but David has the Lord on his side, and the Lord Himself says He's a man of war. What is that? What is it, Exodus 15? Let's see. Yep, there it is. There it is. This is Exodus 15:3. The Lord is a man of war. The Lord is His name. So there you go. The Lord made war. He made the whole concept of war. Like, come on, He's the ultimate general. Like, and you Philistines trying to go up against Him. Every tactic you use is meaningless in the face of the Lord. Just stop, man. And niggas don't learn shit. And David did so as the Lord commanded him, and smote the Philistines from Geba until thou come to Gazer. Hey, you see? David listened to the Lord, and of course he prevailed. Shit, and that's the end of 2 Samuel, the 5th chapter. So, quick summary: you have all of Israel uniting to be under David, and David is made king over all Israel. And you had the Philistines that heard of David when he became king of all Israel, and they tried to come against him. Twice. But of course, the Lord and David prevailed. David first and foremost always seek guidance from the Lord. The Lord told him what to do. Without no further questions, David did what the Lord had commanded him to do, and he prevailed. That's it. That was all there was to it. Yeah. So that's the end. Logan, that was edifying, straight to the point. And until next time, Shalom.